Welcome to Getting Started with the Pyramid video series. This video describes how to build an advanced data model. In this video, we'll learn how to build a data flow using multiple data sources, do some data transformations, then load the data into a target. From there, we'll design a model based on the new data flow. We'll see how the new model tools look and operate, then enhance the model with hierarchies. Finally, we'll process the new model and browse it in the Discover module. To get started, we'll log in to our Pyramid website. Then from the home screen, we'll click on the model icon to open the model module. Here, we see the model start screen. We currently have three options for creating data models. In this video, we'll focus on the advanced model. This opens up a blank canvas where we'll drag and drop sources and targets and flow tasks and tools to create our own custom ETL. For this example, we're going to design a data flow that pulls data from PostgreSQL data warehouse and combines it with Excel data from a spreadsheet. To get started, we'll drag and drop the PostgreSQL tile onto the canvas. Then we'll select the database that we want to pull from. And we'll take all but two of these tables. And we'll click Add Selected Nodes. This creates a unique tile for each table. Now, we want to combine all that with data from a spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet on my desktop that has information about my customers and manufacturers. I want to add it into my data model. So I'll simply add an Excel source tile to my data flow. Then I'll quickly drag and drop our spreadsheet into the uploaded area. That will upload into the system. Then we'll select two nodes containing customer profile and manufacturer details. We'll click the Add Select Nodes button to add the two nodes to the data flow. Now, I want to enhance this ETL with some data transformation. I'll preview my customer table. I see that I have first and last name columns. I like to combine those into a single customer name column. I'll click the Display Column Operations and then drag the Combine Columns tile onto the data flow. Then I can connect the new item to the customer node. In the Combine Column properties, I select first name and last name. Then select the space as a separator. I'll call the new column Customer Name. To preview my work, I'll expand the Preview tab. Then click on the eye. I can see that the customer name column appears at the end of the table. So I also want to enhance the ETL with a sequence that I want to add on to my data table data to provide a unique identifier row for each column in the table. I click on Preparation at the left and then drag the Add Sequence tile into the flow. Then I connect the item with the data tile. Then I add a column named Sequence to this table. Make this a numeric key that will start at 1 and increment by 1 for each unique row in the table, including a unique identifier number to each row. I can again preview the Check My Work. In addition to this, I'd like to add some time intelligence that takes the date key from our data table and creates time items that we can use to build our date hierarchies. I'll drag and drop a time intelligence tile from the Preparation tab to the canvas. We'll connect the sequence and time intelligence tiles. Here, we see Pyramid automatically knows that date key is a date format. We'll rename this table to be data. And we'll select all these items to be added to our model. We'll use these items later to generate our date hierarchies. So now we'll have things like year, quarter, month, week, and day without having to have a robust time dimension for us already available. Now, I want to enhance our ETL by clustering my products based upon some sales measures. I'll be using an out-of-the-box machine learning item for this. I'm going to add the item that implements Kmeans Weka, a popular clustering algorithm that helps me find relationships in the data that may not be normally visible. So I'll drag the Kmeans Weka tile into the data flow and connect it to time intelligence. And over on the right, I'll set the properties. I want to cluster around price, quantity, and sales. And I want to have 5 clusters. I want to run it fast. And I want it to result in a column named Kmeans Clustering. I click Preview and we'll see how it operates. It adds a column for me that holds the number for the cluster that the product in that row falls into. I can use my source as a destination by clicking on the source tile and selecting Pass-Through Data Source. But for this instance, we will store our new data model in a SQL Server. I'll drag a SQL Server target tile onto the flow. I'll create the new database called Advanced Data Model, and I'll connect all the nodes to it. Pyramid will take this data, transform it, and create a new database on the SQL Server to house my data. With our data flow tasks done, we can set the security of the model by clicking on the Security tab and assigning read and write permissions to roles created by the Pyramid admin. Now we are ready to design our model. Our first option is where to host our model. We can select the default in-memory engine, or we can select a virtual to build the model on top of our new SQL database, and then queries will be sent directly to that database without an intermediate engine. We'll select a virtual to save this to our SQL Server, and we'll name our model to be Advanced Data Model. We see our default measure will be sales, and we can change this as well. And we see some statistics that are about our data sources, tables, columns, and measures. Now we'll select the columns that we want to include and set the table relationships correctly. I don't want any key columns showing up, so I'll delete the key columns from my table. I now have the ability to edit the joins. I can change the join type and direction, and even create multiple joins. If I need a concatenated key column, I can add multiple columns to the joins right here. Now we'll configure the columns that will appear in our model and how they appear. Here I'll rename some of our tables, and I'll create a distinct count measure for transactions. And we'll change our margin measure from sum type to an average. With that done, I can move on to our hierarchies. Here I can build a product hierarchy. I'll select product category, product subcategory, and product. We'll build a drill path hierarchy for our end users, and we'll name this products. We'll add it to our data model. Now, with all of our work done, we can run our data flow. We can choose to do just the data flow and create the new database, or we can run the data flow and the model at the same time, or we can just run the model when we make our minor edits. In this example, we'll choose to run both the data flow and model. Then we choose to save our model. We can save it to the public folder if we have permissions. We'll call this our advanced data model and save it. Now the model executes and we can track its progress. When complete, Pyramid opens the new model in Discover, and we can build a report from it. We'll quickly build a product report using our new hierarchy. Product sales across our customer countries. We can enhance the report by using the price measure to drive color in the background, and using the overhead measure to drive the text size. In this video, we learned how to use the options available under the Advanced Data Model, including data flow tiles, security options, data model design, and opening the model in Discover. This concludes the Getting Started with Pyramid video for building an advanced data model.